What's one of the fastest ways to never work with a client again? Not meeting their expectations. Ray from Locomotive has some tips to share with us on making sure those expectations are not only met, but exceeded.
Hey, I'm Ray from Locomotive. I've worked with clients big and small, from scrappy startups to Fortune 500 companies. Any client you work with is going to have different needs, and managing those needs and expectations is a vital part of your business. Here are some best practices you can implement with your clients right away to not only meet expectations, but to blow them away. I know, and you know, communication is the key to everything. So it will come as no surprise that communication is the first step in managing your client's expectations. Properly communicating keeps everyone on the same page, whether it's a budget-related item, such as potential overages, or even delivery timelines. Clear communication minimizes or eliminates any vagueness in how you plan to approach the project and the creative direction it's heading in. Addressing any potential problems or sticky negotiation points before moving forward with the project is so essential. Nothing is worse than being deep in the project and suddenly everything comes to a halt because everyone isn't on the same page regarding costs or a deliverable.
So, what exactly needs to be communicated to the client to make sure that you're all on the same page?
First, you have to agree on the deliverable. Many times, you may be excited to approach a project a very specific way and have a really creative approach to it. But if it's not aligned with your client's needs or expectations, you'll be setting yourself up for a frustrated client, multiple revisions, costly pickup shoots, and ultimately hurting your client's experience in working with you. Next, create a realistic budget. Make sure you outline all costs involved in the shoot. Account for travel expenses, rentals, hiring crew, everything. When you have a figure, then add a buffer for overages. It's better to communicate a budget that's higher than you expect as opposed to a lower one. You never want to be in a position where you have to go back to your client and ask for more money just to complete a project. It will speak to your lack of planning and, again, ruin the experience for them. Now, propose a reasonable timeline. Pre-production takes time. Production takes time. Post-production takes a lot of time. Again, give your client a clear indicator of how long each stage of the project will realistically take. Make it a generous projection to account for inevitable delays. When you promise a delivery of something, such as a budget proposal, creative brief, or a film revision, you are asking your client to set valuable time aside to receive and review whatever it is you're sending them. Missing your deadline, even by 10 to 15 minutes, can really disappoint them.
Now that the client has agreed on a deliverable, a budget, and a timeline, how do you keep that relationship going strong?
If this is the first time you're working with a client, or if they're not familiar with the process of film production, then make sure you take the time to educate them on your process. This is important when it comes to ensuring a smooth first shoot, as well as creating a great experience for your client so they'll think of you for their next project.
But what exactly should you educate your clients on?
Walk them through what is involved in your pre-production, production, and post-process. They need to know it's never as easy as showing up and quickly shooting something. They should walk away understanding what and why they are paying the rates they are. Break down all the costs involved in a film project, from hiring crew, travel costs, to feeding everybody on set. If you get them on the same page regarding the budget, it'll save you a lot of headaches later on trying to explain where all that money went. Next, it's time to set your expectations of your clients, such as your expectation that they will voice their feedback and any concerns early on in pre-production. For inexperienced clients, make sure they understand that changing their mind on something, especially after production happens, can mean costly pickup shoots or additional time in post.
Confirming with your client that they understand the expectations on both sides is super important. What other tips do you have for us, Ray?
Get your client to agree on a communication tool early on. Whether your primary communication is through regular emails, scheduled conference calls, or through a project management platform such as Asana, Basecamp, Slack, Quip, or Google Docs. Use no more than 2 forms of communication to keep things clear and streamlined. Another tip is to avoid ambiguity. If you or the client are unsure about something, say so and find a way to clarify that answer or reach a solution. Making assumptions about what your client's wants and needs are is a surefire way for things to go south quickly. Because there are so many variables involved when it comes to film production, always make a conscious effort to underpromise and over-deliver for your client. This can apply to nearly everything, whether it's hitting an ideal budget, a deadline, or even your creative capabilities. Address problems as soon as you are aware of them. If you anticipate problems with the budget, turnaround time, or possibly talent or locations not working out, let your client know immediately. Since you don't want to stress them out about it, I suggest bringing up the potential problem while also presenting possible solutions. Work and communicate with your client every step of the way, and they will be a lot more open to helping you solve problems as opposed to blaming you for creating them. Finally, whether it's a small startup or Fortune 10 company, setting expectations is nearly useless unless you get it in writing. Not only will it remove any ambiguity, it also protects yourself just in case your point of contact from the client side changes. Have clear documentation every step of the way. I always make sure to confirm as many details as possible via email and then reiterate everything in our creative briefs, budget proposals, and signed statement of work.
Managing the expectations of clients is all about laying it on the line before the project starts and keeping clear communication through its completion. Making sure both you and the client are on the same page throughout the project will ensure that they are happy, well-informed, and wanting to work with you in the future. Do you have any best practices or stories about managing your clients' expectations? Share them with the community in the comments below.
Did you just learn something new to up your filmmaking game? Well, learn even more with our other tutorials. And remember to subscribe to know when new videos are released. Got questions? Ask away in the comments section. Or just say hi. Hi. How you doing? I'm good, if you're asking.